sensors have picked up sufficient quantities of pure Ritalin on a small planet in the Omega system. We are beaming down to secure this urgently needed material.
Captain, something else which is rather extraordinary. This waltz I just played is by Johannes Brahms.
Later, Spock.
Captain, it is written in manuscript. In original manuscript in Brahms' own hand, which I recognize.
Time factor.
We must commence Ritalin injections within 2 hours and 18 minutes, or the epidemic will prove fatal to us all.
It's keeping the processing this time.
The delay may be deliberate.
It's as though he's keeping us here for some reason.
Most interesting. Our host appears to wish us to linger, yet he is apprehensive. It is logical to assume that we are being monitored and that he is aware of our every move.
Captain's log, stardate 5843.8. We have accomplished our mission and have the Ritalin ready to combat the epidemic aboard the Enterprise. But we have also discovered our benefactor's secret. He has created the perfect woman.
I am Brahms.
And Da Vinci.
Yes.
How many other names shall we call you?
Solomon, Alexander, Lazarus, Methuselah, Merlin, Abramson, 100 other names you do not know.
You were born?
In that region of Earth later called Mesopotamia, in the year 3834 BC, as the millennia are reckoned. I was a Corinth, a soldier, a bully, and a fool. I fell in battle, pierced to the heart, and did not die.
Instant tissue regeneration, coupled with some perfect form of biological renewal. You learned that you were immortal.
And to conceal it.
You realized what was happening. You kept us together, Raina and me. Because you knew I could bring her emotions alive. And now you're just going to take over.
I shall take what is mine when she comes to me.
And she loves me.
Captain, your primitive impulses will not alter the circumstances.
Stay out of this. We're fighting over a woman.
No, you're not, for she is not.
I choose where I want to go, what I want to do. I choose. I choose.
Raina!
No. Do not order me. No one can order me. I love. I love.
The joys of love made her human, and the agonies of love destroyed her.
This broadcast is intended for a mature audience, so that I can swear.
You're listening to The Red Hour, a Star Trek podcast, with Rusi, often wrong, Kapadia.
And Colin, Harcourt Fenton Mudd Campbell.
The show is about to commence. Hello, Phil. Hello, Rusi.
Okay, fine. We've commenced?
We have now commenced.
Fine. We will
let the awkwardness commence.
All right, fine. Campbell, welcome to the Red Hour.
Welcome.
We just watched an episode. What episode was it?
We just watched Requiem for Methuselah. And I've got nothing funny to say about that name. What do you want to start us off?
Yeah, because I can already tell that you're dripping with derision for this.
You can detect my disdain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do the plot briefly, even though this has less utility now that Phil started putting those little clips in at the beginning.
Well, whatever. But I mean, but still.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. Fine. So basically, the Enterprise, as always.
Just keep in mind, my clips are terrible and super biased. Like I always make a point of oh, this is what I got out of the episode, and often that strips the plot entirely away.
No, but I don't know. I like them. It's an interesting additional emphasis.
No, but the synopsis helps, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I know. I like them.
All right, fine. Okay, so basically it starts with the action. The Enterprise is suffering from Rigelian fever, and they're looking for a supply of Ritalin, not Ritalin, and they go to this planet where I guess they detect it, and they're stumbling around, on some random portion of the planet, and then they're like, yeah, there's something like right over there, right behind that rock, this thing that is like Earth-sized. But anyway. They just happen to be pretty close to the one person living on this planet, which again, pretty long odds. But anyway, they beam next to the one inhabitant of this planet, a guy called Flint, and they're like, whoa, we didn't detect you. He's like, that's the way I wanted it. But now I have to ask you guys to fuck off. And they're like, no, we can't because we need this Ritalin, and we'll pay for it, we'll barter for it, but you got to give it to us, or we'll just steal it. And then eventually he's like sort of like convinced. He's like, okay, fine, I'll get it for you. And he gets his killbot to get them to get the mineral for them. And while he does that, he keeps them on the planet. And they learn that he's like this guy who hasn't died in 6,000 years. Lived on Earth, was a bunch of different people, and he created a robot woman that he designed, hoping that eventually she would learn, gain the capacity to love him. And to teach her that, he exposes it to Kirk, who teaches it to love, and then her brain blows up because of her conflicting feelings for her mentor and her loins.
As it should be.
And that's it. All right. So now, Campbell. Rather than let's have like a confused fog, why don't we do this like by category? Okay. Plot. Okay. Do you like the plot?
I think it has potential. I think in taken in another direction, it would be. I mean, it has all the elements in it of something that works. I mean, because it's like it's like your basic Tempest situation, but it was remade basically way better in Forbidden Planet. But the plot mechanism is basically, when you come down to it, it's like it's your basic. Let's see.
Boy meets girl. Basic. Boy loses girl. Girl dies in tragic blimp accident on New Year's Day.
It's your basic. Let's see. Highlander scenario with an added half twist of the "Don't You Touch My Daughter," infused with elements of Roger Corby kind of thing, and so it's like you've got the immortal. And you've got he's lonely in the pursuit of love, so he creates a companion for himself. And in trying to mimic human emotion, I don't know. It's difficult. The process is difficult. And
I'm familiar with the plot, but what is it you like / dislike about it?
It basically just like the execution, because like I think.
Okay, so you like the plot.
Okay, hear me out. They're trying to sell us on a few things in this episode. The first thing they're trying to sell us on is the idea, the severity of the distress they're in because of this Rigelian flu. Yeah. But they don't have time to get into that. Sorry, fever. Shut up.
Shut up, Slope.
So the Rigelian fever. It's like we're meant to know that it's like serious because he tells us it's serious, and the whole crew is going to die in like a matter of hours, basically, or at least be beyond the point of saving in a matter of hours. So it's just so happens, they found the planet. That's all well and good, but the point is, it's trying to sell us on the severity of the disease, and it can't do that because it jumps right into the planet. The reason it jumps right into the planet is because it's trying to sell us on the idea that one, this guy's immortal, and that is somehow important and interesting, which it is not. And two, they're trying to sell us in the idea that Kirk can fall in love with a woman, and that a woman can fall in love with him in basically an afternoon, like a tight afternoon.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what it's trying to sell us on, and I think it's complete bullshit. It does not succeed at all, and it's got it's got the elements of being potentially good if you just arrange it differently and not subject the plot to these unnecessary constraints that you could easily write around if you wanted to, but instead they're trying to get us to believe that it's like the whole plan is some, I don't know, what the fuck was this guy's plan? It's like he's building the perfect mate. And he wants to expose it to emotion and somehow spur emotion in it. Her, I should say. Sorry, I shouldn't mean to. Somehow he gets the feeling that using Kirk will somehow help. But I gotta say, it's like maybe his contrivance, his explanation, Flint, of what the hell his plan was at the end, kind of salvages it. Because as it's going through, it just like the episode is just like a shit show, and stuff happens for basically no reason, and the whole way through I'm like, this is stupid, and I don't buy it, and I object. But so they find a way to kind of pull it together in the end. But at the end of the day, we're supposed to believe that that Kirk has found I don't know, the one woman that's going to affect him forever. Oh, she dies, and that's going to this woman that he met. Very quickly fell in love with, and then she dies, and that's going to basically affect him forever. And then you have the weird added indignity of the non-consensual mind meld that Spock does to purge him of his memories, which is it's weird because in a fucked up way, it's a nice bit of continuity, Ouroboros kind of interconnecting and threading, but just how much I object to that. Well, okay, no, my feelings on that are complicated. My feelings on that are complicated, but whatever. Let's compartmentalize that, but whatever. The whole rest of the episode is garbage. But go on.
All right, fine. Maybe my strategy here was wrong. Let's go through this scene by scene. All right, so
okay, so the robot appears. So they go to the planet. Boom, the robot appears. It's
a nomad type robot.
Yeah, it's very.
It makes the nomad noises.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. It's like a threatening robot.
Fine. It's fine. I give it a pass.
It's a threatening robot that floats, and occasionally they attach it to the camera and they sort of move it around.
And it near shoots them, and it kind of gets close to them.
Yes. So yes, okay. So they reuse a bunch of things. It's kind of a little bit irritating, the fact that their guns once again are useless. They're just fuck another fucking planet where they can just turn off our guns. Yeah. But the. Yeah, so okay, I liked elements of this episode, but I agree with you that the love affair with Kirk was way too fucking rushed, and
it's not even. I mean,
yeah, they should have just stuck with making him using women the way he normally does, because.
Well, that's an interesting take. I mean, and this is the thing. It's and it's weird because my reaction.
Wait, we lost you, Campbell. You're.
What about now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, Christ. All right. Sorry. All right. Remind me. My feelings are a mixed bag about this episode because I do like elements of it, and I find some elements authentic. But at the same time, I find this is really a good and specific example of a third season episode that really, it's like someone's taking crazy liberties with this character and making them do things the character never normally would. In this case, Kirk. Yeah, Kirk.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the same time, I can't really criticize Spock because he's acting very according to type, or or at least according to my type. If you really want to believe, as I do, that there's a hugely strong, just romantic relationship between Kirk and Spock that is just constantly, it's just an energy between them, and I like that. I like thinking about it on that level, and
it's just a fan fiction away.
I think this kind of episode is a fan fiction episode. I don't know. I can't really, but it's the guy who wrote it. He's written plenty. He's written a lot of great episodes, but this one I thought was just does a disservice to some of the characters some of the time. But what's next? Oh yeah, so this guy. So the
yeah,
guy.
but anyway, I like the fact that there's like a fever and there's like a time pressure. That is good. That is tension.
But it's not well executed. Do you agree?
Yeah, they don't. They don't really explain like how exactly you can catch a disease through the vacuum of space. I guess
No, that's not important. I mean, whatever. You on the planet, whatever. Come on.
Yeah, fine. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Yeah, so okay, fine. It's good that they have the time element. They got the pressure. It's good that they're focusing on the three characters who are interesting. And I guess like they tackle some like good heavy subjects here. Flint. He's like poetic when he talks about like the past.
Poetic jackass.
No. I like it when he talks about like the plague, and he talks about Constantinople. And, it's fun stuff.
I mean, I understand he hasn't talked to someone in like a couple thousand years necessarily, but like every time it's like, do you have any butter? This bread is a little dry. There's like, then he looks off in the distance like, bread. I had bread once 6,000 years ago, and like, I mean, I don't whatever. I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but
yeah, it was low on the subtlety level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. I liked the fact that like Spock. I guess Spock was the standout star. Because he pieces things together. He keeps giving like hints to Kirk. He's like,
and you can tell exactly when he's figured it out too.
Yeah, no, yeah, like
instantly. Like interesting.
This thing is like for some fucked up reason, I know every single like painting of Da Vinci's. This one is like a new one. Yeah, sorry, that's right. And then Kirk's like, and then at some point he's explaining like the. He's exactly at some point he's explaining that like the Brahm thing. He's like
listen, Spock, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. He's like Spock, like fuck.
I don't give a shit about art.
Enough of your theories, kind of thing. So yeah, exactly. He recognizes that like Brahms' handwriting, which is so that's slightly silly. I like the fact that Spock says, "I will have a brandy."
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It shows that he can be cool too.
Yeah, cut loose. Yeah,
and I like the fact that he knows how to play the piano, and he plays that waltz or whatever. The actress they got to play Reyna, like
Louise Morel. Wait,
if that helps you, whoever the fuck that is, yes.
All right, yeah. What you don't like? What? Whoa! Come on! Let's go.
All right, fine. So anyway, Campbell. So my point is, like, this actress.
What's your point?
She successfully played a creepy, obviously a robot character. So if those are the instructions on the page, she did a good job. But like, Jesus, I mean, she did not do a good job. Like. Well,
you don't think so? You kind of just said she
did. She's like repulsive. Like, just the way she like stares like blankly at the. She looks like she's blind until she's within 2
You don't understand. She's the perfect woman.
Yeah, Russie. I can't do the music.
They were all in love with her.
I really just suspend my disbelief sometimes, but like, she was just like, she played creepy really, really well, but that was not what the role fucking like called for. The role called for somebody who is like Famke Janssen or if you're Russie, Jessica Alba.
Well, maybe the ideal of perfect woman has obviously shifted in the time. In the 60s, clearly, the Stepford Wives was the way to go.
Yes, actually, Stepford, that is a good reference because that is what she was like. Anyway, it's just creepy. So there was no warmth. There was nothing coming off the screen like Edith Keeler.
Huh, that's interesting. I guess you're not wrong per se, but like I didn't read that at all. Or I didn't get that from it at all. I just saw her as being like the kind of exactly what you would expect in terms of like the guarded, sheltered existence, child who knows about everything but hasn't seen it for herself and just wants to see everything, like the curiosity of like a child kind of thing. And like, and what? I mean, and yeah, but I did think it was an appropriately nuanced performance, and especially at the end, I thought it was damn good how she had to emotionally portray someone who was like being killed by their own emotions. Like her brain was melting because like she was experiencing too much for her like robot brain to handle, and like there was just like she was emotionally dying. That was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I don't super like that, but I like it just because we can add it to the pile of episodes where they think a robot to death, which is good. But yeah, she does look like basically like an inflatable sex doll, with like a constant look of surprise on her face. Not that I know necessarily the ins and outs of what sex dolls look like in their show.
All right, we'll put a
pin
on that.
But I saw it on the show once. It was referenced that that's what they look like. But anyway, so she was like a dead loss for the episode. Prince, the actor. What?
Jeez, that's so harsh. I mean, what? Because she was creepy and she was like, you found her physically she appeared.
Yeah, like, man, she was like more brain dead than like the women in Spock's brain.
I don't understand why, but like based on just the emotion of her performance, or
yeah, well, like
I don't understand.
Well, okay. I mean, she had like a vacant expression, and she seemed like unaware of like she was like autistic, like power autistic. How could Kirk be turned on by that? It just makes no fucking sense.
Well, I mean, okay, that specifically I buy, but everything else that you're basically trying to paint her as like someone too horrible to conceive of. I mean, that's interesting, and I want to put that in another compartment to talk about for later. But anyway, I just I think that's interesting. I thought she was and it's tough it's tough because that's like you said, the perfect woman. And and you referenced Femke Janssen because that's probably what most of us think of. But the idea, no, okay, all right, whatever. But but it's true. That is what the episode called for, and I agree. If what you were, without any nuance, trying to assert was that it's difficult for a television show to portray the idea of a perfect woman, and also someone that Kirk would just go completely, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and just and abandon all reason and intelligence. We're agreed on the Kirk, falling in love with this chick was like way unbelievable. Yeah.
Although, I mean, they did their best. They had like 20 minutes, and so at first he just sort of like was struck by her beauty, and then he danced with her, and he like.
It's like, wow, that chick is pretty cool. And like 5 minutes later, it's like, I would die for you.
Campbell, she caressed.
Is this guy bothering you? Let me kill him.
Campbell, she caressed, the hairs on the back of his neck. I think that was like the.
You know what? I mean, I feel bad. I actually do want to go back and rewatch because I really checked out during this episode and I was just drawing. But I'm curious to see what was going on physically during a lot of that dialogue and whether or not they were really able to sell the idea of like this hyper compartmentalized, first date that resulted in both of them somehow, without communicating it verbally, are both aware that they're in love with the other and the other is in love with them, I don't know.
Colin, it was communicated the way it's always communicated in Star Trek.
Chemically?
Very long looks of love in the eyes with, semi-music and like a filter to make it look a little bit paler or whatever it does. Like it's the same nonsense. But it means they fall in love. That's how you know. It's the signal.
It feels right. They gave the cues. But yeah, so
shit.
Okay, so returning to the good aspects. So
good luck.
I guess no, it was good. Spock was good. I like the fact that he figured it out and
kept it entirely to himself.
I like the fact that he was trying to protect Kirk from like hurt feelings.
Yes.
When he knows that if they go behind this door, they're going to find the robot version of what's her face, or that she is a robot. I like that. And actually, just in terms of like plot wise, I guess you'd have to be pretty spaced out not to realize where this episode was going.
Yeah.
But if you were, Campbell, spaced out enough, then it was like a pretty good scene where he realizes, he's like, well, Flint wants me to go through this door. Like, should I go through this door? And Spock's like, don't fucking go through that door. And he's like, we're all going through this door. That's cool. That's a cool concept.
I mean.
And I like the fact.
Did you find it embarrassing? I mean, it's like I can understand why they did it, but like just how all three characters just become like, or was it two right there? I just like
it was all three.
They become paralyzed.
But yeah, man, like how can Spock be such a shitty liar? Or like why can't he come up with something? He's just like, don't go through there. It's unsafe kind of thing. And he's like,
no.
And then McCoy's like, what's the point, Spock? If you have one, he should have said something like, he should have been like, Jim, you're only going to find like heartache if you go through there. Like, don't go through there. At least warm him up for the concept.
But he can't. Yeah. And okay, and I agree. There, he should have found a way to say it. But what would someone have to say to you to get you to not walk through a door into a room that you really wanted to go through, right? I mean, what could someone possibly?
I mean, if it's like, yeah, okay, yeah. In fact, this also bothered me about 7. You know, where he sees like the head in the box.
Wait.
And then and then that guy's going, "What's in the box?"
What do you mean that guy?
Just tell him, like fucking Brad Pitt. Whatever.
I know.
He should just tell him. He should be like, yeah, he should just be like, "There's nothing in that box. It's just like a fucking like a prank letter or whatever."
I understand what you're saying, Brucey, but that scenario is unrealistic and it would not happen.
This is the best take on that movie I've seen.
He should have opened the box, and the other guy's like, "What's in the box?" And he's like, "Nothing." Let's get out of here, man.
Let's just leave this fucking box here.
Yeah. No, exactly. He should have been like,
then they lived happily ever after.
He's like, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so okay, fine.
Oh
so
my God, Rusty! Like we quickly find out why you don't go into film.
Anyway, so he could have gone other ways to prepare Kirk. I do like the fact that at the end he like mind melds him to like take away like his heartache, which is good.
Don't you find it also additionally really fucked up?
No, I don't.
No,
at all. Because like you know, like Spock is standing there impassively as like McCoy is once again telling him how much he fucking hates him. He's like, you know, I don't pity that guy over there who's fucking like heartbroken and crushed. I pity you, you worthless.
I know, it was such a harsh speech, and like
slime devil. Yeah, it was a super harsh speech.
It's like, you'll never know the glory of love because you're a stupid Vulcan. And then Spock just like stares off.
No, I know
it's pretty heavy-handed.
But I like it though because he gives him this speech about like, you know, love's like you know, many triumphs and false victories and this and that. And then Spock's like,
Kirk did give a good love speech. I did like Kirk's love speech, even though it was like,
yeah. So yeah, like, you know, the ideas are like flowing, you know, from Kirk. He's giving some decent Kirk speeches. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I guess it's just hurt by the fact that it's like unbelievable that you know, he would have fallen in love with this robot.
Yeah, the central premise is just not.
Yeah, but okay, but now back to the plot. Like the plot is cool because it's got some fun ideas. So one is, you know, create the idea of creating like the perfect mate. Are there ethical issues about like creating somebody who is designed to love you as opposed to, you know?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
And then it's also an interesting, you know, flavor to say that you can program all these things in, but the emotions have to evolve. Otherwise, they're not fun. I'm assuming that's what it was. Like I'm assuming he could have like programmed her to love him, but it wouldn't have evolved in a human enough way. So he sort of gave her like the you know, the materials, the starting materials, and then he's like, but now, you know, I need someone to kickstart this process so it can like the algorithm can run. And Campbell, I'm talking about neural nets.
I know, Rizzy, but like I just want to say that like an immortal mad scientist would never make the mistake of assuming that he could just program, that he would be satisfied with just programming something to love him, right? I mean, no, it's like, I would never buy that. So, yeah. But and I do think there's like you said, some interesting concepts here that could be really okay. And I'm gonna sacrifice my nerd cred badge because I have twigged, but I didn't catch it when he said her daughter's name and like gave the backstory. Not daughter. Whoa, Freud gave her name, Raina Kapik, and I should have twigged at that moment because but again I didn't. I was lazy and I should have mentally followed up on it. But whatever. It's like, you know, whatever. I got there in time. Yeah, because that's supposed to be a reference and an anagram to Karl Kapik, the guy who wrote Rossum's Universal Robots and who basically originated the term robot. And I should have got that, but I didn't. But it's like,
what a loser! How could you not get that shit? Fuck me.
Anyway,
like why do we even bring you on this goddamn show? I mean,
well, the point is for next time. No, I won't remember next time either. But the point is, so yeah, I do like the idea of like the difficulty in building a person and the difficulty in establishing emotions to it. And I think that also could have been a really cool story. But also there's the added element that could be really cool here. I picture this as like a Tarkovsky movie. And the real thing is like it's Flint, Methuselah, whatever you want to call him, and his desire to want to make a person that is his ultimate desire. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of inherent difficulty in just making them desire you, because obviously you want that to be organic. You don't want to force it. You want to just like have it, but it's got to be like, consensual, whatever that means. Not that you're giving them much choice. But there's the other thing of like, how do you create the perfect mate? Because that's the nature of desire, right? How do you create what you desire? And once you create that, what is going to happen to your desire? Because that should be the ultimate, the ultimate quest, the ultimate mystery. That's how I would frame it. And the difficulty in doing that, and all of the moral implications, and also
I prefer the X-Files take on this. The X-Files had like a way fucking cooler take, which was, remember there was that guy they found who was like immortal, and
but go on. What was
no? Nobody wanted to buy it. But he was explaining it to Dana Scully kind of thing, and she was like, because he kept on trying to kill himself and he couldn't find a way to kill himself. And Dana Scully was like, but there's tons of stuff to live for. Like, what about like love kind of thing?
Was it Jeremiah? Was that it?
I don't know. Anyway, so she's like, well, what about love? And he's like, yeah, I did that like a few times. And he's like, and she's like, well, that should keep you going forever. And he's like, no, love lasts for about 55 years or whatever. He gave like a specific time frame for it.
Which I buy.
Then no matter how much you're into this chick, it's over. And I like that like way better, which is just sort of like admitting that these things are fucking like time limited. Anyway, I just find that more interesting. Because in Star Trek, they were still, maybe in the 60s we were just like hadn't explored this area of human existence enough, or we hadn't done enough Highlander series. But like love gets fucking stale.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
Lucy, this is not a show for such cynicism. This is a show for ideals. Yeah,
but I don't even
if you really want to get down to it, the idea of like a utopian society where we all get along and don't, fight over every scrap that what we make up is fucking ridiculous. Never mind love being eternal. Okay, like the fundamentals is off, but we need these ideals just to feel good about our day.
No,
I also don't necessarily.
I think some of the stuff are digestible. Some of the stuff is less digestible. And the other thing is like, I know it wasn't like Star Trek's like I mean, I can't make them take every job on, but can't somebody fucking like give us like a good immortal concept that isn't depressing? It's like all of every single from fucking Greek mythology onwards, all visions of immortality are like Jesus Christ.
No, come on. Highlander was pretty upbeat. The show,
Highlander was pretty cool. Yeah,
the show was totally upbeat. For the most part. Like, every episode had its tiny tragedy, but that's the point of the show.
Paul was not upbeat once. Like he was so morose.
Rusi, it's about aesthetic. It's about a morose aesthetic. You don't understand.
Especially in the 90s. Holy shit.
Especially when you live in France on the Seine in a barge. It's like a whole look. You gotta,
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's just the way he was. But still, I'm looking for that version of immortality that's a little bit more fun, a little bit more upbeat. I mean, I know there are a few versions out there, but still. So anyway, okay. The other
it was
thing,
a bad portrayal of an immortal.
The other thing about this episode is it is good Trek in that it's 4 people on a lonely fucking planet, and they're the only, or 5, whatever, people on a lonely planet. They're the only people on the planet. I mean, because of, the cost of extras and scenes, that's a lot of the episodes, or, fucking sets. But it is very Star Trek. It's very Doctor Who-y.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that time-wasting bullshit.
No, but it's, part of it is like there is something, there's something in I guess intriguing or engaging about just these lonely episodes, because it's like a quiet sound stage, and then you're just rapt attention on like the few people like in the scene, because there's so few people in the scene, and it's just really, it's like a what's that Glenn Ross, it's just like there's nothing specific happens. It's just about the characters engaging, and so you have to just focus on that. So it's like distraction free, obviously, cost, editing, and a lot of other things free. But it is.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of space stuff does that too, where it's just all about being like the loneliness, because like horror, there's like a horror element that comes around not being able to reach out for help, or not being able to, reason with a bunch of people because there's this creature after you and you're stuck alone.
Yeah, just like Enemy Mine.
What?
Anyway.
No, actually, that's a reference we should know. But anyway.
I can't believe you know. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, so okay, so it has some of those elements, and they're sort of trapped, and they're at the whim of this guy, and of course, to make it a little bit more exciting, they have like a fisticuff fight between Flint and.
That was, because
I do like that in that like Kirk gets into it and Spock's like, you really shouldn't, Captain. And he's like, stay out of this. I'm fighting over a woman.
Dude,
it's over a woman. It's just totally okay.
Like, no, it isn't.
But Flint's line was the best. He's like, you can't love an android. I love her. It's so, I guess that is a good line in that it speaks to the insanity of the situation and the absurdity of it and how it's like he's clearly gone insane and he's obsessive and he's like, and it's just he's not reasoning properly anymore. But at the end they basically just devolve, like I think they're meant to like be seen as like children who are fighting over this woman basically who doesn't want to be fought over and who just like who is, and again another episode where. Okay, I mean, obviously, there's Flint as a malevolent, basically antagonist, but like this, one of the central problems of the issue is like a woman's choice, and like her feelings and her perception of the situation.
But that's not a problem. That's not a problem, Colin, because like Kirk.
It's a problem to be solved.
No, because Kirk's like I don't like the way he orders her around, like straight away. So.
And that would be fine, but why does it have to go from that to like I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman, and it's like he's just totally falls for her.
Wait, what's so crazy about that? She's the perfect woman.
In an afternoon,
look. You don't need to worry about an afternoon. You have the perfect woman. He was sold the second he found that out.
If they tried to sell me on like some kind of like maybe hyper responsive. Physiology that helps her like secrete pheromones that like I don't know, you tried something like that, or I don't know. I mean, I know, at this point Kirk's like an old hand to like being subjected to like love potions and having like
not to bring up
mystical attractions.
Not to bring up other Treks, but TNG's episode with that perfect woman with Picard falls in love with. Yeah, with Famke Janssen is just as ridiculous.
I thought that was a way better execution of it though.
Yeah, it was a better execution because it was like fucking in the it was in the 90s and had like a massive budget.
I know, but but those aren't the reasons why it was good. It was good because it was just well written as opposed to this episode, which was not. But, and obviously it's got the benefit of like 25 years.
Also, you are right about the disease thing because like didn't at one point Kirk intimate that basically they all had the disease as well? So apparently it goes from like. Within 4 hours of acquiring, you go from totally fine, capable of falling in love with women to dead. Right?
Yeah, that appears to be the case.
Of the bubonic plague.
Yeah, well, the Rigelian fever, you mean?
Yeah, that is identical to the bubonic plague.
Yeah, I guess.
That's true. I didn't consider. Maybe it was all just a side effect of the plague. No, that doesn't track.
They were all just hallucinating the whole time.
don't touch my robot daughter, and then at the end they get all tuckered out. I wrote she's a robot, and then I underlined that. I thought that was important.
Yeah.
What is some of the thing? Okay, I wrote this down. Where Flint is talking and is like, Captain, I don't know, what is he like? It's like being alone here, not feeling, not the caress the smoothness. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He was explaining he understands love.
And,
it's caressing the smoothness.
And okay, whatever. I actually give Flint a pass in this because whatever, he's allowed to be creepy. Like the whole what I really object to is as Bones, Kirk, and even to a slightly lesser degree Spock, and how all of they sort of treated Reyna, as and from Bones it was just really weird, and like and like I had whatever. I mean, it just shows the change in culture. How back then it was like considered very polite to compliment a father on how attractive his daughter was. I mean, I know. Well, I mean, that doesn't sound
where he's like, where he's like, she's like.
Where it's like she walks in the room and Bone's like, congratulations.
No, because he's like, you were the first man that she's ever met. And then he's like, it's a misfortune for men everywhere.
And they keep harping on that. It's like it's a Christ, and like the idea that it's like a crime for the universe for this woman to be cooped up, as though again there's some inherent value in like subjecting her to the world for the world's benefit, not for her, as though she's basically some object to be like showing off like the crown jewels, you know. And it's like between that and the general sort of possessiveness of everyone, of both Flint and Kirk, you know, which is okay. What I'm not gonna say it's not realistic. It's just really weird. But just like the whole desire to want to take her away from there.
If you put aside the heteronormative sort of like aspect of saying that it's a shame for men everywhere that they haven't met you, what else is like bad about it? I'm just curious here because like I'm just wondering like why is that bad? I understand that they wouldn't do it.
I think the way that it's done was incredibly in poor taste and just showed and just like. Okay, I think show the shuttle shift in society because I think it's definitely the kind of thing you would try and communicate nowadays, but the ways in which you do it is much different.
But why?
And I think, and honestly, because one thing is like just a cold hard reality is it's like it becomes kind of weird when a gentleman as elderly as he is in DeForest, compliments the remarks on the attractiveness of like a very much younger lady. You know, that's an unfortunate. Evolution of society.
I'm just
unfortunate for
but like, isn't there something a little bit more honest about a society? You know, where you can say it's a misfortune that like I didn't meet you when I was 20.
You can, but I mean, all you're doing is like but again, it's about what you're honest about, and if you're just honest about are you trying to compliment them or are you just subjecting them to various whatever? I'm not going to go into like a breakdown of the male gaze, but it's like there are reasons why it's not necessarily always wanted to have that kind of attention focused on oneself,
Yeah, but the thing with the male gaze is it's insidious because you can't even call it out because it's just a look.
I think you can. It's absolutely a thing.
I mean, maybe you can, but then like the obvious response might be, and in fact, the truth might be like I wasn't like eyeballing you or whatever.
Rusi, no one's accusing you of anything.
But what I'm saying is, like, isn't there something a little bit more honest about acknowledging like something like that? Because at least then it's out in the open, and you're being honest with your feelings and just saying like, I mean no disrespect, and I'm not gonna flirt with you or anything. I'm just saying, I acknowledge your beauty or whatever.
It just to me it seems inappropriate, and it's like I can understand the honesty of the person wanting to do it, but like what's the point of honesty in a situation where it's like it doesn't do anyone any good, it just makes it awkward, and like there's no relevance, no bearing. And it's like there's just inappropriate situations, inappropriate relationships, and it's like
I guess it depends on the personality types, because like to me it just seems like annoying for like everybody to like pretend that there's something that isn't the case when everyone knows that it's the case.
Well,
it seems like more like an inhibition to society to like not acknowledge things like this,
Okay, and it's like a part of it for me is just the way it was done. I just found it like it was like lacked class. But again, I was like, I would concede the impulse in today's society is still there, but the way it's done is done much differently, I think,
Yeah.
But anyway, so the robot, ultimate robot woman, Forbidden Planet.
Actually, one thing I liked from the episode, there are probably speeches I liked in the episode, but I was like so turned off by the whole sort of love affair thing that I probably didn't focus my mind on it. But one thing I do like is, Kirk is like barking out orders to different people, but like at one point he just goes, Spock, time factor.
It's important. I mean, it's like Spock is going to know it down to the second anyway, so you might as well call him on it,
Yeah. Man, I want to use that at work though. Just be like, be working on something, and then when you're talking to somebody, be like, time factor.
Can you believe this episode came out on Valentine's Day? Can you believe that? I mean, it's got to be something, right? But it's like that's just depressing.
Valentine's Day, bummer.
And the dude. Well, whatever. I'm going to say this name. You're going to be like, who is that calling? I'm going to be like, shut up, Brucey. The dude is Tyne Daly's father. And
the guy from Flint you're talking about.
Sorry, the guy who plays Flint. Oh yeah, okay. What about and Flint itself? Did you catch like the specific? I want to say the call out that Kirk did when it's like when they're reasoning stuff they're putting together and it zooms in. He goes in and Flint, just like Flint, or no, he says like no, he just says like Flint. So it's like so obviously being a reference to in like Flint of this.
I see.
That must have been specific, just because it was so so deliberate.
One thing that showed this sort of like a poor production value of the episode is when they're playing billiards.
Yeah.
And they focus
that was so creepy.
Hey, shut your face. Sorry. When they focus like shakily on like her hitting the ball, and then she does something that is completely unremarkable. She misses everything, and it's like, and then he's like, "Wow, did you teach her that?" I feel like she's like 8, and he's sort of like, "We're putting that on the fridge. This is the best."
That is how it felt. It felt really condescending, and
You're telling me she only has 14 degrees? My God, that's a fucking surprise. She's absolutely darling, aren't you?
Oh man, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
That's great.
I do like the fact that like McCoy, after he like totally like disses like Spock when he's like, Spock, you stupid fucking cretin. I like the fact that at the end of it, he's sort of like, oh, good night, Spock. And he's like, after he's been insulted, he's just sort of like, good night, Doctor. I like that.
This is the second time Louise and Shatner have worked together romantically. Let's see. They were in something somewhere. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Something else that he starred in. So they were so it's interesting that they could have had very legitimate and real chemistry. But again, the fact they were supposed to convey that, I totally forgot about the billiard scene. It was just so. It just made me want to have a shower. It's like if I saw Kirk doing that to a woman in a crowded bar, I would like present myself as some kind of opportunity to like use me as an out. Or like anything short of like just going up to him, it's like, is this guy bothering you? Because it's like it just seemed so. Anyway, I know it was the whole point of it was like it was welcome on her part because whatever, who wouldn't be their first contact with humans ever, but it was just I don't know, I just found the whole thing creepy from start to finish.
It was, and also like Kirk was pretty immodest because at some point he's sort of like discussing like Flint's plan. He's like. You know that only I could ignite these massive feelings of passion in her. So he acknowledges that he's like a Casanova and a dynamo, but it's a little bit immodest.
And it was also dumb how they tried to work Kirk into the plan at the late hour. Like, first of all, the guy's like desperate to get him gone, and then somehow for some reason he's like he wants to keep them there and like stall. And like so his whole purpose and intent changes.
Going back to the Kirk acknowledging or being arrogant, Rusi, you keep coming up with this sort of like, where does Kirk get this reputation for sleeping around and being God's woman?
No, yeah, this is definitely
Kirk freaking believes it.
No, but actually, yeah, because we noticed we remarked on this last time. Was that
the third season he gets real slutty.
The third season they throw it in, and actually. It's a weakness that also happens in James Bond. Remember, Sean Connery is like treating women like assets, and he's fucking cold and calculating. And then Roger Moore comes, and he's just sort of like betting everybody. And it's like, man, don't you have a job to do? What is like Her Majesty fucking paying for? When you're just like going around being like a lascivious kind of jerk. I don't know. I definitely this is like Roger Moore era.
I also have the same complaint about Roger Moore and the fact that he just, compared to everyone else, he feels like he's covered in like sweet treacle, and just like his one-liners. Oh my god. Anyway, and his polyester. No, he's fine. I take it back. He's fine. I can't stay mad at him. And the whole thing of Bones giving Spock a hard time and going, but you never know anything about that, would you? And I know that's whatever. That's the whole bit. It's the whole like unending immortal bit that for as long as Bones is within proximity to Spock, he will find he will find it necessary to like basically insult Spock to his face and make fun of him for being a half-breed stuck between both worlds and not ever really fitting in. Like for no, I mean, I don't know. Unless I don't know. How do you read that? Do you maybe see it as maybe being like maybe Bones actually knows what he feels and he's trying to get him to admit it, or because the whole point is like Spock does feel. That's the whole point, right? Like,
no. I think he knows that like Spock's not a baby and he likes to have fun with Spock. Spock's
but
he invites him like to have like a drink of brandy. And he's not like because he insults him then too when he's sort of like, of course you won't fucking touch this stuff, will you, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, and
he's like I will have a brandy.
God,
and
it reminds me of
like,
my dad.
And McCoy is not like McCoy doesn't take like the brandy and like throw it in his face. He's sort of like, all right, this guy's cool. And then the three of them have like a nice fucking moment where they just they're all drinking later.
But just like the degree, and like again, how much he twists the knife later, And for me, and if I were Spock, I mean, no, that's not true. If I were Spock, I would react as Spock does. But if it were me, I would say, bitch, and be like, do you remember Amok Time? Do you remember what happened? Like that whole scene. It's like don't test me, and don't talk to me about love. Anyway. And obviously that was that was love and lust and heightened emotions all around, but that still totally qualifies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was dumb. It was a short memory of Bones to stick him with that,
Yeah. Okay, so now I've only got one note left because I gotta like bring up like at least one fucking like good point of the episode. I do like the fact that when Kirk first gets there and he makes his case about getting the right talent, where he says like in quick succession
he's on mission.
He's on mission. When he's in quick succession, he's like we'll work for it. We'll buy it.
Anything.
We'll pay for it. Kind of thing, and then he's
we'll
like,
do anything.
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah, no, but it's good. It's good. I like the fact that he knows that they don't have moral authority to just take it, but he's saying that like when he's sort of like, this is my fucking planet, get off. He's sort of like, we're in need. I like the fact that he's just sort of saying, he's like, he's not sort of saying like, oh, would you mind, and sort of like asking in that way. He's just sort of saying like, I know we don't have a right because it's your planet. It's your right to tell us to fuck off. He's like, but we're in need, and that gives us like the right, kind of thing. I like that because it's like pragmatic. It's like you be moralistic when you can, but if you're in fucking need, you're in need, and then I like that because I think Picard or someone else might have been like too caught up in like, well, it is his planet. He tells us we can't fucking like take what we need. Whereas Kirk is always like, first he tries to implore them, and he's like, well, if you're not fucking gonna give it to us, we're gonna walk over your dead corpse and take it.
Russi, what do you keep bashing that's making that noise?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's straight.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, like I mean, except for the focus on love, this is an okay episode.
The banging emphasizes his points. You should keep it going.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, so
sorry, I don't mean to stifle your expression.
This is an okay late season episode.
Really? Okay.
That's where I said.
I just think it's a bowling. A bowling.
All right, fine.
What do you think, Bernard?
But I really love the job that that both of them really. I mean, it's like I just think the writing was appalling. The directing was good, the acting was good, but just what they had to work with in terms of the bare bones facts. And I think it's like the whole thing about Flint is like he tried. I think he played it suitably well. He played it morose. He played it like any opportunity to like just like stare off in the distance and like remember things. Yeah. I thought that was good, but it's like, but at the end of the day, I just did not care. I just did not care. At that point, they shouldn't have either. Like they should have seen it like Spock did a mile away. And no, it's like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. You should standard deal immortal, yeah. So what do you think's behind that door? I don't know. He's probably fucking making robot daughters or something. I don't know, whatever. Oh yes, again, sorry, I apologize. Not his daughter. But you see my point, right?
Yeah,
don't you think there's a conflict of interest of you being the creator of something that you're also intended to? I mean, I don't know. It's like unless
it's going to be like a Woody Allen thing.
No, I was asking you like a direct question about like
but now that you bring it up.
What are your thoughts on Woody Allen? I don't know. It was like some kind of love and death thing about subjectivity. But I do. What do you think about?
You know what? Like one of the things
tailoring is it creepy to you tailoring something for you that you will have the rest of your life, but but knowing you're making it exactly the way you want. I don't know. Is this, but also being the creator of it? I don't know.
For me, like science fiction is the opportunity to
think about new ways of having sex with weird creatures.
Yes. Part of that, but
that's not wrong. Okay, fine.
No, but it's about being amoral. You know, like like when you have a setting that's like Earth or human and some recognizable city or whatever. There's sort of like a moral sort of base foundation for the thing. But when you go into space and like weird shit happens,
anything goes.
Yeah,
there's no laws.
I mean,
but it's like yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I get it, but like it's more about like let's explore that weirdness of creating a creature and then dating it. That's kind of the point of the episode, right?
Yeah, that would have been
It's like someone thought like, what do you think of this idea? And they're like, I don't know. Let's explore it. And that seems like a good thing to do. Although they didn't quite get to the weirdness of him creating, like they sort of seem to be like, well, obviously you created the perfect woman, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's what
I guess it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have explored that issue a little bit more. Luckily, luckily they could avoid it just by having her keel over from indecision.
Yes. It makes sense that he would make companionship because honestly, that's what anyone would do if they had the capabilities. But it's like just to me, there's just the I don't know. I want to say ethical issue. Whatever. It's just...
Was it in Red Dwarf when he creates Rimmerworld? And he's like, I considered the ethical implications of sleeping with someone who's made from my DNA, and then I thought, nah.
and that's fine if that's I'm not into kink shaming.
Well, he figured he has no other choice.
But I don't know. But to me, I don't know. To me, it's offensive in a specific way. But maybe that just reveals my hangups. I don't know. Sorry, you were saying, Russi?
No, I'm just saying, like these things that like the strength is being able to say, look, listen, human morality doesn't apply everywhere, and let's explore this. Like remember that Quantum Leap episode where he's like he's playing this guy. Wait, what happens first? Oh yeah, no, he's playing this guy who has like a daughter, right? Like he goes back in time. He's got a daughter, and then the next body he jumps into.
Oh yeah,
he's having sex.
I remember that girl. Oh my god.
And I like it. I could call me twisted, but I like it because it's like who the fuck are you to say that like some weird fucking quantum effect has to like accept your morality? Fuck you and your morality, like this is the wacky way that the quantum like jumping works. I like it. It's
okay. I respect that.
Yeah, I want things to be weird and fucked up, and it's definitely like way more interesting. But anyway, so and this also had like a lot of this sort of what was in sci-fi I think at the time in all those pulpy novels was just sort of sex and a bit of a sex fantasy there. Undertone. Okay, that's all I got for this one. Campbell, you got any sign-off thoughts or?
Shit. No, I guess we pretty much covered it. I mean, I'm sure I'll find something to be disdainful of afterwards, but I thought this was way better when it was Forbidden Planet, and then earlier when it was What Are Little Girls Made Of? Because I thought the whole theme of just making robot companions. They could have done all that in that episode.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I guess that's all we got for Methuselah.
Did you guys decide that you hated it or that you liked it?
I like it because it's good enough.
I do not like it. I do think it has some elements that try and save it, but overall my list of grievances is too long, and I would instead of modifying this episode, I think this episode is a total tear down. You want to tear down, start fresh, bring in new writers.
Keep the cast. Famke Janssen, start again.
I mean,
there comes a time where you cannot destroy the termites, but demolish the house.
But yeah.
So what's next week's episode?
That's a good question. Scrolling.
Come on, Savage Kurt.
The way to Eden.
Oh man, that's even better than Savage Curtain. Okay.
Yeah, and I am looking forward to that, if only because it's an episode I love to hate, but whatever, we'll get there.
Big fucking surprise.
And then after Savage Curtain, I think, yeah.
Okay, fine. Shutting down.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Science fiction. No.